Let's talk about some ninjas. With version 8.0, the biggest class to receive a change has got to be the ninja. Their increased damage on Dragon Slash, and a whole bunch of other team perks that are pretty viable when using a ninja has really increased their performance overall. I still have a lot of issues with ninjas, and we're gonna get into that, but later in the video. You guys voted, and I decided, because of a few other bugs that are going on with the game, to bring you the melee build that is technically the best in the game, mathematically, fundamentally, and any other kind of E you want to add in there. The damage this build does is nothing but astounding. 1.5 million DPS a second? Possible? It's possible. So we're going to go over the build. I'm going to show it to you guys, and then I'm just going to give you some thoughts and opinions on ninjas themselves, which I hope you guys agree with me on. I kind of really enjoy playing ninjas right now. Like I said, there's just so many things working for them. They just need a little more help to be viable in the main sense. Can you play ninjas in any mission? Absolutely. Are they the funnest class in the game? 100%. But do they take a lot of extra work just to be playable? Sometimes. We're going to get into all of that and more. Let's check it out. This is your Ninja Assassin build. I think we can all agree that ninjas definitely received the largest and best improvements from version 8.0. We have things like Dim Mock, which makes ninjas basically invincible, Endless Shadow, which creates this aura that and keeps you in shadow stance that just does a ton of damage if you have the aura build on, plus you take a lot less damage, you're faster. They also have Hang Time, which is a super cool ability, and they also have Mantis Leap, which gives you quadruple jumps. It's definitely a lot of buffs in the right way. Their double jump no longer takes any energy. They cannot take fall damage. Just a lot of things needed to change for ninjas to become more viable. I still have my issues, yes, but they are a lot of fun. The damage they put out is off the charts, whether you build them with a melee build, a Dragon Slash build, or anything in between. But today we're focusing on just a melee build. The numbers that I was able to get yesterday while recording were absurd. I'm talking, and I'm not kidding here, the potential to do 1.5 million DPS a second. Of course, it's in a perfect situation, but it wasn't too bad. I did it in actual combat. So if you guys are interested in a build like this is what we're going to talk about today. And one quick little thing before we get into the build is I know not everybody's going to have all of the characters, so I'm going to do my best to give you options. So we're going to talk about the commander, and then we're going to talk about what other options you could do in case you do not have it. We're going to try it a little different, so please bear with me and see if this format works out. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you the build, and let's talk about it. Lotus Assassin Sarah. This is going to be your best bet if you have this character, and she is a base model character, so you should be able to get her pretty easily. Let's see what her commander perk does. We have Assassination. Dealing weapon damage grants 1 stack of Assassination up to 5 stacks. Assassination lasts 5 seconds and increases melee weapon damage by 18%. 18 times 5 is 90% extra damage. As long as you are hitting stuff, you are in max assassination stacks, allowing for 90% extra damage on every swing. This is not a stack onto the enemy, this is a stack onto the hero. There are a few other choices here if you do not have her or if you don't like her character model. Corrosive Strikes, the actual hero, which is Deadly Blade, is pretty decent as well. Melee critical hits apply 30% snare and affliction, which deals 87% of damage dealt for each second for 3 seconds. This is another great character, and if you want to use her instead of Assassin Sarah, you absolutely can. Let's take a quick look at their class perks, because this is important as well. Mantis Leap, of course, is no longer takes any energy, which allows for one of the big downsides of ninjas, which is technically their mobility. A decent way to actually get out of battle. The only way you're going to run out of energy 9 out of 10 times is if you're fighting a nature wave and you get, countered by the Riot Huskies and take a lot of damage that way. And then another important thing is we have to talk about Shadow Stance. After eliminating one enemy with a melee weapon, enter Shadow Stance for 4 seconds. Shadow Stance increases armor by 60 and movement speed by 15. Shadow Stance is also going to work with our team perk. But don't worry about the team perk because you can do so many things here, it's kind of crazy. But if we're talking about the best, highest DPS build you can possibly do for a ninja, you're gonna want Endless Shadow. But let's take a quick look at what it does and what else you could possibly put in here. Guys, I recorded 2 minutes of extra footage talking about team perks, but I'm trying to keep these videos shorter and more concise, only covering the things that really need to be covered and a couple of thoughts and opinions along the way. So just know that you can use anything you want that you like in this team perk. Endless Shadow will get you the highest DPS possible, but anything that you are comfortable with, feel free to use. Soaring Mantis, Shake It Off, it doesn't matter. They have so many great options that you can use. Feel free to change this perk. Let's talk real quick about the core of this build. There is a bug or a glitch with 1-2 punch and the spectral blade and the lead sled, but we're not going to go over that. We're going to talk about an actual build once that gets fixed. The main build, it revolves around 3 perks and 2 of them are interchangeable if you do not want them, but 3 of them are 100% core. And if we're talking melee damage best build, we're talking 900,000 damage per second, this is the build to use. Anatomy Lessons, of course, is going to get you that crit rating to hit harder more often. This is definitely key to the build. Legendary Blade, you're going to be in Shadow Stance forever, so why not get that extra 25% damage, putting you at 115% extra damage almost at all times. Lastly, we're going to talk about Corrosive Strikes. Corrosive Strikes increases damage basically by 37%. However, it's over a 3-second time period and applies a snare that allows you to dip and dive a little better. The only other perks here that aren't core and you can change around are Corrupted Aura and Survivalist. Corrupted Aura, I would only change this if you do not want to bring Endless Shadow. If you plan on bringing Endless Shadow, Corrupted Aura makes 100% sense here and will allow you to damage the bigger targets while Corrupted Aura takes out the small little guys that might be chasing you down. The last perk here, Survivalist, this is my preference. You do not need this technically, but I really enjoy having it. It keeps you alive a lot longer, heals you for an incredible amount, and just is a lot of fun to make a tank melee build. With Endless Shadow combined with Survivalist combined with Shadow Stance, you're taking a lot less damage at all times, allowing you to heal up and kind of out heal what they can do to you unless you get stuck in a ton of enemies are just blasting you down. Survivalist is my go-to here, but you can stick for these 2 perks. You can put anything you want. Corrupted Aura, once again, if you want to change this to Mantis Leap or anything like that, feel free to do so, and then just change Corrupted Aura to something like Easy Sword or Medical Fumes or Dragon Slash. Survivalist, there are so many things you can put here that it makes any kind of build viable. Now, we're not talking about a Dragon Slash or an ability based build here, so let's just take something that you might want to use for melee damage. Fleetfoot, Easy Sword, Deep Pockets, Return of the Dragon, Dragon Days might be decent. All of these are perfectly fine to use. In fact, I would definitely add some survivability to your build as the last perk, as we already have all 3 melee weapon damage perks. So what can a build like this actually do? Well, in this case, this is a level 118 pug mission. I knew 1 person in it, and that was it. We didn't set this up or anything. I'm hitting this mini boss for 304,000 damage per swing once fully stacked. But then, I don't know if you saw it, I hit him for 551,000 damage. This wasn't a test. I wasn't trying to get the highest number. We were just playing and I was just getting footage. I don't even know how it happened. I was on a base, a boom base, that's definitely part of it. But if you could replicate this and hit for 551,000 damage per swing, that leads you at 1.5 million damage a second. It's the highest DPS you can get in the game. Granted, I don't know how this happened, but it did. So that's pretty interesting, but normally let's say 900,000 damage per second is nothing to laugh at anyway. So I mean, the damage is there. Damage on ninjas was never the issue. It was always about survivability and mobility, but a lot of that has been addressed as well. However, I still think that it's still a little rough to play as a melee ninja, and Dragon Slash receiving a buff might just be the way to go anyway. This is where I have an issue with ninjas, and some of these are you can solve with a team perk. Some of these every character has to deal with, but ninjas have to deal with them twice as much and are in a lot more danger. We have slowing attacks from Frost Husks, slowing you down, stamina drain from Nature Husks, causing you to die a lot. Exploding Death Burst, if that's on, you can't Dragon Slash through a bunch of small husks because it will insta-kill you. Slowing pools, again slowing you down, combined with a Frost Wave is really rough. Riot Huskies, especially with their broken hitboxes right now, make it almost impossible to kill them. We have to deal with bees, gas cloud, damage reduction clouds, and propanes because we're hanging out near the tunnels, could explode the tunnels. All of these things are a problem for every character in the game, but they're double, even triple a problem for ninjas. And I'm not saying that ninjas are bad. They do what they're supposed to do. They do it better than they ever have. Just there's no other class in the game where you have to decide on what character you want to play based off the modifiers. If all of these modifiers were on, you could still play an Outlander the same way that you could play a soldier, the same way that you can play a constructor. You might have to change what you build out of and what weapon you use, but you can't not use the character because of an exploding death burst modifier. And that's my issue with ninjas, but maybe that's more of an issue with the game itself instead of the actual character. So that's it, guys. That is your melee build you guys have been clamoring for. Wanted to get this out to you as soon as I can. There's a lot of things to take into consideration here, but the damage ninjas do is just insane. I really had a lot of fun making this one. Seeing those huge numbers, 900,000 damage a second, it's a lot of fun. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Did you think I got it right? Do you think I got it wrong? Is there another build that you guys use that I didn't get to see? I'm doing my best here and trying to figure out all the cool stuff and mechanics that you can, but things do get by me. So if you have a suggestion, let me know down in the comments below. Tomorrow we are having the Stash-ageddon on the stream. If you guys want to stop by, that's twitch.tv/RoundedTikTak. We're going to be doing a bunch of giveaways again. So if you guys want some Sunbeam or weapons or anything like that, make sure to stop by. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, I put out videos like this and analysis videos all the time. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you can, that like. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. TikTak out.